Are we on? Now we're on.
Greetings from Storybrooke. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie D. Simone.
And my voice just cracked. Also, this is our Season 3 Listener Roundtable, and we're going to talk about Season 3 of the hit ABC series Once Upon a Time. How are you doing, Anne-Marie?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
We have I would refer to them as a 2-live crew tonight.
They're crazy.
They're
like
rowdy. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, though, and we're going to be focusing mainly on them.
It's all about you.
We did no prep work for this. We were like, we have a ton of smart listeners and other once podcasting friends and stuff like that. We could probably just go live and let them go and kick back and drink our magic juice.
Basically, I'm going to sit here with my cups, plural, and enjoy. After I read my 2.5-page rhyme.
Yes. So the rhyme and summary,
quite the rhyme today,
which was also listener contributed. Which is fun. Before we get into everything, though, I just wanted to throw this out there real quick. As you guys know, I write some books about a little superhero named Dogboy. And the cover illustrator for me, Paul Loudon, is actually doing a relevant crowdfunding campaign for a graphic novel I thought you guys might be interested in. It's if you go to Indiegogo.com and search for Alice and the Invaders from Wonderland, you can check it out, check out the art. He's doing it with a writer friend of his. Basic premise is, after Alice returns from Wonderland, she finds out that it was all very real when the Queen of Hearts and her army invades Alice's home dimension. So, it sounds fun, and Paul's a great artist. I love his artwork that he's done for me for Dogboy. I no quid pro quo or anything. I just thought it looked good. You guys might enjoy it, so check that out. And let's see here. I guess we should go ahead and introduce our guest. And do we want to do the rhyme first?
No, let's introduce the guests first.
Okay.
One at a time.
Okay, let's see here. First, we'll start off with other Anne-Marie. How are you doing, Anne-Marie?
Hey, I'm good, guys. I'm Anne-Marie. I'm from the Great White North.
Yes, the Great White North.
The Great White North.
Okay, next up we have Amy. How are you doing, Amy?
I'm doing good.
Excellent.
Glad
The last time we saw you was for the Wonderland wrap-up hangout, right?
Wonderland hangout. Which is
fun. I think that means
do it again.
I think that means you're contractually obligated to appear on all of our wrap-up hangouts from here.
And you're welcome.
Hey, you never know. Let me know.
Excellent. Next up is Bobby from Bradenton. How you doing, Bobby?
I can see you.
Bobby from Bradenton.
How's it going? Oh, did you mute yourself?
Yes, he did. He muted himself already before he was done.
Sorry. There we go. Hey, Bobby from Bradenton. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
Excellent. We're glad you were able to get in. You were having some technical difficulties early on.
Yeah, my phone and my tablet wouldn't hook up, so I had to go steal someone else's laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Good. Definitely don't give it back.
No.
Definitely don't give it back.
It's all yours now.
Okay, next up is Hope. How you doing, Hope?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Breathe.
Just okay?
Well, I worked 45 hours in 2 different stores because they can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well,
yay, retail.
Well, if you need to take a nap or anything, you can definitely feel free. We have a bunch of people to cover for you.
And that's fine. I dashed away during your Wonderland episode. Maybe I can make it a thing and I'm just going to go save the fangirls.
I will do this. I'll just do this.
Nice. And
your listeners were not here 5 minutes ago when me and Anne-Marie decided what this is.
We just do this now.
Nice. Okay, and next up is someone we hear from pretty much every week, but we've never actually had on before. Michael Lucero. How you doing, Michael?
Great. Good to be here, guys. How are you all?
Yay.
Excellent. Yeah, it's finally nice to get to talk to you. I mean, because we definitely hear from you all the time, and it's always some of our favorite communications. We generally say that about all the listeners, but we really mean it about you. So,
good to know. Thanks.
Next up is Martine. How you doing, Martine?
Hi, very good, but really tired.
Really? Yeah. What time is it where you are?
Oh, it's 22:02, so
oh my
it's
goodness.
really late.
I hope you have nothing to do tomorrow.
Only exams on Tuesday, but that's fine.
Oh, that's a few days
that's
away.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's
You'll
fine.
have plenty of time to recover. Just get up and jump around if you need to wake up.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all happening.
Or again, if you need to nod off. It's fine.
We can
We
cover
understand.
it. We can cover it. I'm planning on sleeping for most of the episode after we get to this intro. Okay, next up we have Christine. How you doing, Christine?
Hi. Sunday morning for me.
Sunday morning? Nice.
Oh, that's right. You're the early one.
Yeah, where are you again?
I'm in Shanghai, yeah.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, and,
It's been a way. We haven't had you on in a second.
no, I've been busy, and, sorry, I actually need to go back and catch up on some of your older episodes because I haven't had time to. Yeah.
Well, we're glad you were able to join us anyway.
Absolutely.
For sure.
I'm glad to be here, and I hope you like the rhyme reading it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hope to do it justice. I hope to do it justice.
Yeah, once we get to it, in a rare occurrence, I'll probably be switching in when she.
You're gonna have to tap him in.
It is an epic rhyme, which we'll get to in just a second. Okay, and last but not least, we have Jeff and Colleen, who also joined us on the Wonderland Hangout. How you doing, Jeff and Colleen?
Doing great.
Good. How are you?
Thanks for inviting us.
Excellent. Oh, no problem. No problem. I saw you over on the event page and everything. And I was like, oh, they want to be on. I didn't realize they wanted to be on. Yeah.
See, I'm old. I forgot to reply at the right time. Sorry.
You missed the deadline.
Wait to reply. I didn't know about it, or I would have replied for him. So
surprise. Okay.
Surprise. We have everybody. We have the whole gang together, and we're drinking magic juice, of course. I think I just accidentally mixed my carbonated magic juice in with my coffee that I had in this cup earlier.
Ooh.
So we'll see how that goes.
That's why I have 2 cups.
Okay, Anne-Marie, let's go ahead and start off with Christine's wonderful, epic, full Season 3 summary.
Okay. Hold on to your hats, folks. All right. It's the season that shows the tale of 2 stories. First, the gang heads to Neverland to save Henry. The Dark One has lost his son once more. This he did not doubt. It gave him... I'm bad at rhyming. I'm so sorry. It gave him to confront his old man and want to take him out. As the heroes work together to use their many talents, Emma admits that she still blames her parents. Still a lost girl inside, shippers divide. You guys choose your sides. Charming and Hook develop a bromance. Swanhook shows the signs of real romance. Neil is alive. Almost everyone rejoices. For now. As we discover more of Rumple's never-ending history, Pan's true identity is no longer a mystery. Can there even be a more twisted family tree? Wait, hang on. Stupid Henry. Why can't you just listen to your parents? You have 3. In the end, the team prevails. They head back to Storybrooke, where it all seems well. Certainly not. The drama continues. Henry and Pan switch bodies, and a new curse ensues. The ultimate sacrifice brings tears to our eyes as Rumple perishes with Pan together. A new curse hits. They thought for the last time. Regina bids farewell and creates memories she thought for the better. Life in New York seemed pretty fine until Hook barged in with a message just in time. Emma remembers. Henry doesn't. They both return to Storybrooke. Is it where Emma belongs? Not exactly, as being adrift is all she's ever known. Are you tapping in?
Yeah, I'll tap in.
Okay.
There's yet another new curse in town with a new villain to double it down. Her skin is green. Evil versus wicked, sibling rivalry begins. 3 months of hiatus only to discover that Rumple was not ended. Bill correctly predicted that the dark life was not over. The Wizard of Oz has turned into a flying monkey. So is half of Storybrooke. Isn't that dainty? Rumple's brain, Regina's heart. Charming's bravery, Snow's new baby. All ingredients in creating something dark. As it turns out, a curse to turn back the clock, by a witch so powerful not even Dorothy could stop. Even without her heart, Regina finally embraces her true love, even if it might not last. She breaks the curse and defeats her sister. The portal still opens. Rumple, you a bad mister. Curiosity killed the cat and puts Emma in danger too. Luckily, she didn't die. She just gets sucked back in time. Hook the pirate turns into Hook the Valiant as he helps Emma and Snow, the charming assailant. With Rumple's help, they restore faults in time. Well, most of them. Some changes are clearly just fine. For Emma also rescues a damsel in distress who turns out to be Maid Marian. Oh, what a mess.
Don't mind me. Oh, sorry.
Tag.
Tag! Okay. Rumple follows the lady and does a gambit. Proposing to Belle, can this deceit be called a romantic? For self-preservation is forever the Dark One's nasty little habit. They end Neil again, this time for good. The writers are to blame, at least he is remembered in a newborn's name. The youth turned lost boy, thief turned father, dies a hero and is remembered as such ever after. But wait, Swan Hook returned with even more baggage than they bargained for. What's that thing flowing? A new season of folklore? Watch out, dearies, winter is coming, and all things considered, that might not be so charming. All of these events and more things that rhyme in this Deja Vu Season 3 of Once Upon a Time.
Ooh, congratulations!
Thank you!
That was awesome!
Thank you!
Woo! Epic.
Yay.
And you hit every plot point, which is
Absolutely.
a really hard thing to do. Take it from me. I've written a few of those. Okay, Anne-Marie, everyone can unmute themselves, and Anne-Marie is going to run a little trivia game here. I'm going to kick back and drink my magic juice.
Okay, trivia time. If you would like to answer, say your name and I'll call on you. First one I hear gets to answer. The prize is... That's all I got.
Weak applause.
Weak applause. Weak applause. Okay, number
Alright.
1. What is the name of Rumple's childhood toy?
Bobby.
Bobby. Bobby.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan. Point for Bobby.
Yep.
All right. How does Snow save her own life?
When? Which time? I need a clarification.
Anne-Marie
Anne-Marie.
turns herself into a ladybug.
Oh.
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right. 3. Many characters are multiple fairy tale personalities. Who else was Peter Pan?
Bobby.
Bobby?
Pied Piper.
You? All right. Number
Hope.
4.
Henry.
Hmm.
Technically,
Oh.
Wow.
I'll give
Well,
her half
Henry
a
is
point
not
for
a
that.
fairy tale character.
Henry
so
is not
I
a
would
fairy tale
say-
character.
Yeah.
I'm
Technically.
calling shenanigans on that one.
True.
All right. How do you capture a shadow?
Amy,
Amy?
the coconut.
Mm.
Sort of. Putting the
Anne-Marie
Anne-Marie?
with the candle.
The candle.
candle in the
Oh,
coconut.
no, just call- yeah, the candle in the coconut.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
They each get half a point. for
Half a
that.
point.
Put the lime in the
Tom.
coconut.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Okay.
I'm so glad that you were thinking that.
I missed whatever just happened.
Yeah.
I said you put the lime in the coconut.
And
It's
shake it
shaking
all
up.
up.
Okay. What is Killian and Liam's sail made of?
Hope.
Hope.
Pegasus feathers.
Yes.
It's not made of hope.
Oh, I have never heard those jokes ever before.
Never.
You are the funniest man Bill makes.
What does Emma take of hooks while practicing her magic?
Hope.
Monty.
Hope.
His hook.
His hook.
Slash dignity.
Oh.
What color are Zelina's slippers?
Amy.
Amy.
Silver.
Yes.
Follow-up question: what color are Dorothy's slippers?
Amy. Red. No, go.
Gold.
Follow-up question: why?
Legal rights, I believe. How does Bay get to Neverland the second time to save everybody? For clarification.
Oh, Amy.
Amy.
The shadow thing. He used Robin's son to say that he believed and used him as bait to grab onto the shadow and fly to Neverland.
Yes.
The shadow.
That was
knows.
going to be my follow-up question of how did they summon the shadow, but you got that. What?
Using children for bait is always
Children for bait. Why not?
Still,
it's a family
big
show.
moment.
It's a family show. Well, at least he got to go back to his dad.
This is true.
Easy one. Who was the voice of the shadow?
Hope.
Martine.
Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson.
So good.
What was Hook served in jail?
Henry.
Martine.
Henry.
I think I heard.
Martine. It was me.
Martine.
Bologna.
Baloney.
I like how she says it.
Yeah, so bologna. I'm a vegetarian, so how am I supposed to know?
I love baloney.
Oh, Jeff, I just
I
saw
hate
you
baloney.
might be muted still.
No, it's
FYI.
not. That's the video because they don't usually send video.
Oh, okay.
Remember, we don't like
I'll
to
explain.
show who we are.
We're crawling out of the portal, remember?
They're the shadow.
How does Regina turn Snow into a mermaid?
Amy.
Oh.
Amy.
She gives Ariel a bracelet to turn her into human, and in order for her to turn into human, someone has to turn into a mermaid. And so she took Snow White's legs, in a sense.
I was gonna
Excellent.
say magic, but
Alternate answer, very well. She did a good job turning Snow into.
I was gonna say magic. So.
I like details, okay?
Where did they find Henry after Pan was killed?
Bobby?
Bobby.
Clock Tower?
Yes.
Correct.
How did Peter Pan know about Neverland?
Amy.
Amy.
It was his dreamland. He dreamed about it, and so he kind of made it up.
Amy, you're rocking the trivia.
Excellent.
All right.
Theory.
Last but certainly not least, and probably easiest of all, how does Emma stop her parents from meeting the first time? Apparently not. Martine.
By breaking down a branch, so she falls out of the tree.
Yes, she broke a branch.
Excellent. So that's the last question?
That was the last question.
Okay, let me tabulate up the scores here. Okay, I'm the big winner. Everybody else ties for second. Congratulations!
Wow.
They all accept it willingly? Wow.
I know.
They do.
In fact, they
I
cheered.
need some magic juice.
Yeah, you and me both.
Here, have some of mine.
Oh, good.
Good job, team. We boosted Bill's ego.
Oh, I'm
Exactly.
for you, Jeff. Okay, let's see here. I guess we'll go ahead and get started into the main discussion then. I'm going to pick somebody to start with here. Actually, you know what? I think he already had some stuff he wanted to talk about, so we'll go ahead and start with Michael. You had some stuff you wanted to talk about as far as kind of a parallel plot structure?
Yeah, I was, as you guys know, I haven't been the biggest fan of this season. I've had a lot of criticisms, especially towards the end. But this is one thing that I actually originally didn't like, but then started to like the more I thought about it. Is it kind of bugged me at first. I just thought it was like an example of like poor storytelling. The two halves of the season had almost the exact same plot structure. It's not exactly like a ring cycle, but maybe like a mirror cycle. In each storyline, the heroes fight a villain who has influence or control over like one of the heroes. Henry in the first part, Rumpel in the second part. And in each storyline, the villain is defeated either because of or at the same time as that hero. Their allegiance shifting back to the main group of heroes. And each storyline, the villain is defeated 2 episodes before the end, and in those remaining 2 episodes, they have to kind of deal with the fallout of that defeat, and also like extra plots that the villain had that were enacted before they could defeat him, and like Pan's curse being the first one, and then the time travel curse.
Right.
So at first I was just thinking, this is just really lazy writing, but the more I thought about it, the more examples of like more parallels that there were, and I was thinking, this can't be just an accident. They had to have done this on purpose, and I kind of started having a lot of admiration for them because of that.
Mhm.
So I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I reading too much into this, or?
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't notice those parallels at all.
Well, it might actually be really interesting to watch the entire season when it comes out on DVD because there was such a big break in between. And so I do understand what Michael was going at. And so watching it in a rewatch over the summer would be very interesting because then you can kind of watch it back to back and see what's going on.
I'm sorry. I just rewatched the whole season over the past like 3 days.
Well, you are dedicated, man. Was it good?
To make sure I had something to talk about.
Nice. Yeah, we watched some key episodes kind of as we could of the Neverland arc. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and go to you, Bobby. Since you rewatched the whole season, general impressions.
I didn't notice. I mean, he brings up some really good points. I didn't notice that at all. I, like she was saying, I noticed that it's almost like two completely different seasons, with season finales and everything. The first one dealing with maybe like the sins of the father and the cycles that you have to stop because it's a vicious cycle that can be repeated. And the second season dealing with Emma having to realize where home is.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also interesting that both big bads for both half seasons ended up being revealed as related to main characters.
Well, why is that a surprise?
Yeah, I mean, in the show.
That's not actually a surprise.
I mean, this entire just structure of all the villains is just getting really stale and old because pretty much every major villain has had family problems. They had some kind of like magical element about them, and that's why I'm hoping they don't repeat that with Elsa because pretty much every villain in Once Upon a Time has been like that.
We will not have Elsa as a villain.
She's gonna be a misunderstood villain. They already said that in
I'm okay with a misunderstood. But she would not be the actual villain. There will be somebody else being the big bad.
Like
See, I want to know why she's in Rumple's like little vault of like forbidden magic.
Not forbidden, misunderstood.
Misunderstood. So Rumple owns like the island of misfit toys in his basement.
Absolutely.
Basically.
And she created that ice island for everyone to this day.
I agree with Hope when she says that it's getting kind of stale. I mean, they introduce and kill off the big bad like right before the arc ends. I just think that's getting a little. I mean, how many curses did we have this season? We had I don't know. Curses. We had too many curses, and it's just essentially the first one where they went to Neverland, it's a place where time stands still. That's technically a curse as well. So we have like 4 curses this season. I don't know. That's way too many. They need to tone it down. And the reason why I wrote it in the rhyme in this Deja Vu season 3 of Once Upon a Time, it's because it so much resembles season 1 in so many ways, except that it's
season 1 was way better.
As exciting. I mean, I like the pace, to break it up. It's better. The pace is much better than season 2. You have 2 arcs, and then things go pretty fast. But at the same time, I agree with what has been said in that they can't do this again because that's just not going to be fair.
But at the same time, the pacing is kind of their downfall as well because like both with Neverland and like Oz needed to be an entire season. It was so underdeveloped, and there were so many points. And then with Neverland on the flip side, they give us so many like filler episodes that we didn't get Neverland backstory. Like Peter Pan and Tinkerbell were never in a scene together. We never saw young Balefire in there. We still don't even know the deal that Hook made. So like even while the pace was better in these 2 half seasons, it just left us with underdeveloped stories. So they need to find that balance.
Yeah,
see, it's great that they did. Sorry, it's great that they did 2. Like they made it feel like 2 separate seasons because they did back to back in the first half and back to back in the second half. But I do agree with Hope that the pacing at certain points was so fast that we did get 2 storylines. However, we had a couple of new characters, and I know that you had it as a point later. But there's like certain places that people were introduced and we got like maybe an episode, maybe not even an episode, like 10 minutes here of one character, 10 minutes there of a character, and I think that was just too fast. And so
it was definitely.
Elsa,
I mean, with people like Rapunzel, I think was done.
Yay.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah.
Could have been any princess. Sorry, I'm sick.
My thing is, I could have seen Neverland as a full season, and then maybe Oz as like season, this next upcoming season, maybe.
Yeah.
Because, kind of like what Hope said, there was a lot of questions concerning Neverland that was asking, and I'm a big fan of Peter Pan. So there were a lot of relationships, like the Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. I wanted to see them play off each other and stuff. I wanted to see this version's relationship between Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, and that was probably the more disappointing part of it to me. Just because I was kind of hoping to see how they were together and see their I wanted to see their backstory. Like, how did Peter Pan know Tinkerbell?
I mean, Tink says, like, Peter Pan trusts me, but we still don't know why.
Right.
I want to know why he trusts her.
And it was like why they showed us like certain things over others. Like they gave us the whole Medusa backstory.
That Medusa thing could.
That's random to me.
And then like in Oz, like we saw like their first day of the last year, and then like 8 months later of the last year. So did they like just sit there for 8 months and just wait for Zelina? Like what happened in that time?
Exactly.
Oh man, the timing and that's so off. So do we want like hashtag OUAT in Neverland, except not the way they handled OUAT in Wonderland?
I mean, I really hope, if you guys haven't read Shadow of the Queen, it's the comic book they released with like more of Graham's backstory. If they ever do that again, I hope it's the Neverland stuff, because that would be a really great comic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Young Balefire in Neverland.
In Neverland? Oh yeah.
Jeff and Colleen, you've been pretty.
There's more Balefire in Neverland. His more background, how he became involved with Peter Pan and all that. That's another thing I kind of wanted to see.
Oh, definitely. Jeff and Colleen, you've been pretty quiet. Some general impressions, and I think we're kind of focusing the conversation on Neverland at the moment. Yep. So yeah, that's fine. What do you guys think?
I agree with a number of comments that already come up. I think that we had a lot of missed opportunities with Neverland. I think we had a lot of missed opportunities with Oz. I was very interested in seeing both a lot deeper, to see Young Bay on Neverland, to see more of how the water came about. The island changed from the old scenes with Liam and Killian. It looked beautiful. The sun was out and all that. What happened basically to that island? Why was it so dark all the time?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
One of the best theories I read about the time in Neverland is that it's all just one full day. So, like, when Liam and Killian get there, it's, like, still at the beginning of that one full day. And by the time our heroes get there, it's, like, getting towards midnight. And that's just the time slowly running out over time.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
But didn't they say they'd been there 1 week at one point?
Probably what felt like a week.
Yeah.
Time, it doesn't have to matter. What's plot?
What's time? Timelines, people. Time. I feel like I need a giant whiteboard to go through.
Lucina did wear that power suit throughout the entire. What was it?
But I'm sorry, I interrupted them.
You're good.
Well, I wanted to hear more about the main shadow, the Marilyn Manson shadow.
Yeah.
What happened there? Was there one before? Was it like the protector of the island? I wanted to know about the sands of time thing. I mean, there's a lot of really interesting pieces that we never really dug into. And then switching over to Oz, pretty much the same thing. I wanted to see more of the town, the inner workings.
Right.
We saw the guards, we saw the room, but we didn't really see much else. There's a lot there, and I think if the producers really kind of tap into social media, they will see a lot of people are very, very interested in that. And I'm telling you, if you make a show that people are interested in seeing, you really can't lose. So, overall, I love Season 3 much better than Season 2. And I'm taking... do you have any thoughts, Colleen?
Yeah, actually, just real quick. Just kind of throw it out there. I agree with you. Season 3 was infinitely better than Season 2, in my opinion. But then Season 2 for me was just the darkest year that ever was. So yeah, I'm not a fan of season 2. But what I'm kind of curious about is why do we assume that they're not going to go back and visit those things at some point in time in the future? I mean, we're assuming because Elsa's coming, well, we're done with those things. They've come back and visited other things, you know, later on in the season. So there's nothing that says they can't come back and visit it. Now, the likelihood that they will, I don't know, because again, how does that fit in with the new storylines? So we'll see. But no, I enjoyed both halves. I agree that it was very much like 2 separate seasons, and both of the finales could have easily been season finales. I mean, it was really well done, and I liked what Michael said about how they were very parallel storylines when you think about it. And you know, the first one being Sins of the Father. I think the second one was actually Sins of the Mother.
That's what I was
Look
thinking.
at it, it was all about Korra.
Yeah.
And how she was really just, I don't like Korra much either, by the way. Just in case y'all don't know that, I'm not a big fan of Korra.
Love hating her.
Yes.
She's icky.
No, but I do think we're going back to Neverland just because there's so much backstory still with Tinkerbell in Neverland and Hook. So they could, even if it's just like on the Jolly Roger and just going back to them on the boat, which would be easier kind of to shoot. But I do think we're going back at some point to get like their story, what they did in Neverland.
Right.
But Hook doesn't even have the Jolly Roger anymore.
That was
No, he doesn't.
In the past, because they're probably not gonna ship that big
Ship that ship.
thing back. They're not gonna ship the ship back.
I mean, the Jolly Roger is his hammer, and if you know Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog, you catch my reference.
Yes.
I can. Tinkerbell's still around, by the way.
No, she's on iZombie.
Underused. She was so.
She's on what?
She's on iZombie now.
Yeah.
Oh,
With David
well, I meant
Andrews
the character's
everywhere.
still around. So.
Right.
I could see the whole past thing in Neverland happening. Probably because I can see them wanting to use Robbie K more because he was such a fan favorite as Peter Pan.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Trying to find any sort of way possible to bring him back, and since he's technically dead,
they can only do flashback.
They can only do flashbacks. So I can see. I wouldn't mind going to see Neverland, past Neverland, just to see Peter Pan again because I thought that kid was an awesome actor.
Right.
So, I wouldn't mind seeing him again. So I could
Actually, both of their villains were amazing.
No.
No.
No, Selena
I'm
was
just
the
hoping
worst
they're not
ever.
going to explain it in like a 5-minute dialogue or something. Like
No,
they
I
have
don't
to
mean
do
the
certain
character.
things.
I'm referring to the actors that played the character.
But you know they have been doing with certain things. They have been basically given a 5-minute, kind of a quick catch up, and then that explains everything. And so I'm hoping they're not going to do that with certain things that we really would like to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had a major problem with like telling their way through stuff instead of showing us.
Right.
And like that was a huge. What couple was it? There's one couple that was just like, why is this happening? Oh, it was Robin and Regina. They like the whole Outlaw Queen thing. It just kind of happened, but we didn't actually really get to see it. And that's why Skin Deep was so effective, because we got to watch them fall in love, while Robin and Regina was like, well, let's just stick them together, now they're making out.
And then there's the Marion thing.
Oh.
And
yeah.
The Marion thing.
Yeah, oh my god.
Don't get me started on that, I'll go on a rant.
Oh my god.
I am still upset about that one. Seriously?
The entire time, I was just like looking at Emma and just, what did I call her? Marty McPhail. The entire episode.
Actually, I was taking a note from Bill and Anne-Marie's book and saying, stupid, stupid Emma.
Nice.
And I like Robin Hood, and I wouldn't mind Robin Hood and Marion being together because it's canon and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really rooting for Robin and Regina now. So the fact that Marion was brought back when she wasn't supposed to made me scream at the TV for a good 10 minutes.
See, and they could have done so much more with Robin Hood. Like, I've seen a lot of great theories that, like, he was actually being controlled by Zelena, because he would just, like, stalkerly pop up in places, like, in the woods where Regina was.
Yeah.
And so there was all these great theories that, like, he didn't want to work for Zelena, but, like, maybe she had Roland. And that would have been a really interesting story, because then I think Regina would really feel for him. Like, your son's being captured and controlled. I want to help you. And that would have been a much better love story for them.
See, and I think that's what the biggest upset is for me. It's not necessarily that Outlaw Queen is kind of being broken up by this right now, but also Regina now not being able to mother Roland, like, because Marion is back, and clearly she's Roland's mother. And so that whole relationship, like her having Robin, her having Roland, just all of that together is now blown out the water, and I was so upset about that.
You know, on the same token, though, it's almost like Henry, Emma, and Regina, though.
It is. It's another version of Henry.
I'm hoping that Regina has learned from all the time of having to kind of face these issues, is that she can kind of get it and flow with all that. So anyway,
somebody pointed out once, I can't remember where it was, but when Marion was there and Emma and Regina were talking, she's like, "I'm really sorry to know," and Regina kind of basically called her out on bringing her back. They weren't playing the Evil Queen music.
Right.
So, I mean, normally that would have been the thing you would have said, "Oh, she's going to go back to being the Evil Queen," but I don't know if she will. And honestly, I think that they did kind of show us over a number of episodes the two of them falling in love. Granted, it wasn't to the same extent like you mentioned of Skin Deep, but I think they did show it because it was that playful banter. It was that, fiery exchange between the two of them every time they were together, and the flirtatious, and how it gradually over time became more flirtatious until she, gave into that whole realizing that Tink was right.
Right.
One thing I did like about, them bringing Maid Marian back, because I was a big fan of the whole Outlaw Queen thing too, but if nothing else, I thought it was really good that they showed that it as cleanly as everything wrapped up in the finale, you still can't travel through time without
something big happening.
Yeah, paying a cost for it, especially if you get kind of cocky like Emma did, and she was like, "Oh, I can save this person. It won't be any big deal." Yeah. No, you just messed with
Stepped on a butterfly.
And I kind of see Emma as Snow White now, because you know how in the beginning Regina blames Snow White for ruining her life because she essentially killed Daniel.
Mother.
Well, now she sees it as, well, Emma took Robin away from me and Roland away from me, so now she ruined my life just like her mother did. So she's basically following in her mother's footsteps. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to play out.
Prediction right now, first 5 minutes of season 4, we find out that she's annoyed about it, but she's still pretty cool with Emma and everything.
She's going to get all her season 2 crying out in the first 5 minutes of season 4, and she's not going to cry anymore.
Yeah.
Please.
No, but I kind of took her into Selena and wine for Colleen, and I've heard a lot of that. I've heard a lot of theories that she's not going to go back to Evil Queen, because that will basically undo everything that has happened between season 2 and season 3, and establishing that Regina is steering away.
Season 2 doesn't really count. She was flip-flopping a lot.
No, you had to get through season 2 though to get her in season 3, because think about any tragedy that's ever happened in your personal life. You have to go through that grief and that struggle to be that stronger person. And if we didn't have that in season 2, we would not have had the non-evil Queen Regina of season 3.
I agree.
I agree with Hope, but it's just I did find that the relationship started a bit quicker than most of the other ones we've seen. I mean, Snow and Charming, they struggled quite a lot during the first season. They took a whole season to get together, and then Hook and Emma, they took a season and a half to get together. So and this was maybe 6 episodes where they actually liked each other. So I was constantly thinking, this is so gonna backfire at some point during this season. And I immediately knew that there's gonna be some twists in the finale, because it was just they were just too happy from the first second. It was just doomed.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's
of course they can't let everything. Sorry, go ahead.
That's where the sped up timeline comes in. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, they can't let they cannot let the happiness linger for too long, because then that would just be
boring.
There'd be no show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
we're talking
can't have a
about
show
it,
without drama.
Well, they should have a show without drama and have a show about actually really well-developed plot points.
Oh, come on.
No, this is becoming a soap opera. It's following the exact formula of a soap opera. You have like the bride that comes in the last minute of the wedding, and the little kid goes, "Mommy!" and like that's like their next season. Like it's the exact formula of a soap opera. So if they're either going to embrace the camp and go that route, they need to. If they're actually going to make a good show with well-developed characters that we know they can do because they did in season 1, they need to do it.
I just kind of hope she doesn't turn into Zelina, because to me Zelina kind of whined the whole third
Zelina
half.
is hands down their worst villain. She's the Mary Sue villain.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to take it down the line. On a scale of 1 to 10 magical necklaces, how much did you like Zelina? Okay, other Anne-Marie.
3.
3? Okay, Amy.
2.
Bobby.
4.
Christine.
The character 4, the actress maybe 7.
Hope.
What was the number again?
10.
1 to 10.
Minus 10, 10 for the actress.
Jeff and Colleen.
Go.
4.
No, see, I actually I liked Zelina. I thought Zelina was interesting.
Okay.
Zelina was, she had her points. She was whiny, so I would give her a 7. The actress is a 10 for sure,
Yes.
but the character herself, she was a 7 because she was just vicious enough, but then she was whiny.
She was like
So
a
she
mob
got
boss.
knocked
She
down.
had somebody else do her dirty
Oh,
work, and she
yeah.
never really did anything. So there's that.
Controlled.
Right.
Exactly.
I thought
come
when she
to
played
me on
Joan
the
Collins to Regina's, what's her name, Linda Evans.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's see. Martine, 1 to 10 on Zelina.
6, but mainly just because I really love that they, for once, had like the sisterly dynamic, which is so typical of fairy tales, so that was kind of nice. But yeah. 6.
And finally, Michael, 1 to 10, and why?
Yeah, I'd say probably 5. I love Rebecca Mader, but I honestly felt like the whole Green with Envy thing is kind of a two-dimensional motivation.
Yeah, the worst part about the Wicked Witch was the marketing.
Yes.
All the
I
Talk
don't
about
know
overkill.
we could have like an entire episode about ABC marketing. Because like we started like last season with the terrible promotional pics that looked like they were done in a Kmart in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag save Henry.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I don't
Hashtag
trust
kill
ABC marketing. Ever since I watched Lost, they always have the most like misleading advertisements for the next episode. It's like, next episode, this secret will be revealed, and then the other thing that happened
That was
is that
Lost.
they would allude to that. Somebody would refer to it, and then that would be it.
High five.
Yeah.
I still hate just how they spoiled the whole Frankenstein twist in the promo.
Dude,
Right.
Dave Sanders was
No.
so pissed off about that. Livid.
My thing is
Staying away from anything
We're
once.
talking about Lost now.
Maybe.
Okay.
No, but like anything that was done marketing-wise, I have stayed away from it so badly because I heard about how bad the marketing can be sometimes. And the problem is as well is that the spoilers up here in Canada, they basically you get like a 10-minute preview of the entire episode. And I don't want to watch any of that. So every time anything comes on Once Upon a Time on any break, I mute it and walk away because I missed out on most of the Wicked is Coming just because I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, see, we actually, for the episodes and stuff, we track down the Canadian promos because they
Yes.
show more stuff.
Usually, not always. The season finale promo, the U.S. one was much better.
You know, someone we none of us have really talked about too much is Rumpel. Rumpel had a really crazy season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They had a pretty full season.
so mad at the end.
You know that moment from like Elf when like he realizes that Santa's not really Santa and he's like, "You're sitting on a throne of lies." Like that was me during his entire wedding scene, and he's he's saying his vows to Belle, and the entire time I'm like, she's just going to slap you so hard and leave you when she finds out what you did.
I was actually thinking more of the scene from Legally Blonde where she's watching that soap opera or something like that, and on the TV, she goes, I love you, and she liar. And that whole scene was just in my head that whole time, going, I can't enjoy. I wanted to enjoy the wedding, but I couldn't because of the whole dagger thing.
But that actually made it interesting because we knew that as the audience.
Yeah, but it ruined it for me. I was like, I don't want to see them get married now because I know it's based on a big fat lie.
Right.
But
the thing that made me so upset about that was the fact that I think that Belle is so cool with Rumple that if he had been like, hey, I need you to be my alibi because I'm going to kill the Wicked Witch, she probably would have been like,
yeah, cool.
I don't like lying, but okay.
Yeah, where Rumple had a crazy season, Belle had an underwhelming season.
Agreed.
Definitely.
I mean,
even just in Neverland as the fake shadow.
Yeah. Oh, the fake shadow was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
fake
stupid.
Belle was bad.
But I find like the thing that's most annoying about Belle is just how she's so forgiving when it comes to Rumple, but then she's holding like a crazy grudge against like Regina and Hook, and it's just annoying. Like I understand if she's like naive and if she actually is just like a good person and sees the good in everyone, but she doesn't. It's just she's crazy stupid when it comes to Rumple.
It's totally cool if you like tortured this guy Robin Hood in your dungeon. You gave me a library, thanks.
Love makes blind?
Maybe.
No.
Somewhere
Because
a million.
she's supposed to be like
That's
intelligent, and
that's
she's
not
supposed to
blind.
read
That's like
things.
Rumple stabbing her in the eyes.
But Adam and Eddie kept saying that Belle could look into a person and see their true self, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it along the same lines of Emma's superpower, or is it actually
It
real?
works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes. You know?
Oh, okay. I mean,
I mean,
so
like,
Belle-
Superman has X-ray vision and can see in buildings. That doesn't count.
all right.
But there has to be a limit, though. Like, there's like it's good that she can see the good inside people, but she has to hold him accountable too, and she's not.
Right.
Yes.
Because he's not going to change.
Something very interesting when she does the wording on saying, like, I love you with your darkness, not despite your darkness, or even though you have this darkness. I love you, all of you, even your darkness. And I think that's a very interesting wording. You know, it's like, I love your darkness too. What? That's weird.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever read those fan? Oh, sorry.
That's fine. Go on.
I was gonna say, have you guys ever read those fan fictions or like any story of like it's kind of like Twilight, where you have like the big bad boy and the girl is like, I can see through your goodness forever. Like that is Belle.
But I mean, she
no
should
matter
be
how often you
consistent.
hit me. What?
Be consistent and kind of give like the same opportunities to other people and not just to your love interest. It's just really annoying.
That's all kind of in character for Belle, though, because, I mean, Beauty and the Beast is, you know, a romantic retelling of Stockholm Syndrome, basically.
I will never look at Beauty and the Beast the same again.
Oh,
myself.
Well, I guess that was at least what Zelina tried with Rumple as well. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and remember too, Belle had her Lacey period, even though it was, you know, not something she did of her own. She kind of had that Lacey moment where she liked the badder the better. So maybe that's a carryover, and that's where she's like, yeah, I could still go with that a little bit.
Yeah, the badness was something she was looking for, not looking past.
Right, right.
So
Because, you know, we are both. We are both.
But I'm wondering how she's going to deal with the fact that he lied to her and that she does not have the real dagger. Because that is not darkness towards others. That is plain lying towards her.
Right.
Right. But here's the question. Will she ever find it out?
If she does find out, I hope she finds out soon and they don't like drag it out for like a whole season, because that'll annoy me more.
Yeah.
I just hope they maybe she'll maybe not find out in the first episode, like the season premiere, but not drag it out to where it's like the season finale, the last 5 minutes is like, oh, wait,
Dagger.
you have the real dagger.
Kind of like Stanley's potion to remember stuff, kind of like that. Sorry.
Well, maybe
What's the guy's name?
Well, maybe it'll be something like Belle doesn't want to use the dagger against him, but he's just doing something so terrible that it forces her hand, and she tries to use the dagger and realizes it. That'd be good, because then she'd have one struggle and then like this completely huge betrayal.
Exactly.
It's either that or he is going to be in a position that he can't help himself using magic in front of her while she didn't request it.
I can also see it happening as she finds out about the dagger, but doesn't tell Rumpel that she knows. Like,
Well, what are the actual rules of the dagger?
What are actually the rules of Once Upon a Time?
So, is it that they, like, if you have the dagger, then that means if the Dark One tries to do something you don't want them to do, you can just say, don't do that, and they have to stop it? Or is it that the Dark One can't do anything unless you tell them to? See, I don't understand exactly how it works.
I think it's just that they can make them do something or stop them from doing something. They can, because there were times he was acting on his own, even when Zelina had it, and then she realized and she was like, nope.
Yeah, I think he can have free will until someone uses it.
Because I was under the impression... Yeah, I was under the impression that he couldn't do anything.
But then if you look at the scene where he goes back to the sheriff's office and is like, I didn't kill her, and then it's like, oh, Belle would have certainly curbed any homicidal tendencies of mine, which means that because the dagger was in her possession, her general will is don't kill Zelina, and therefore he would not be able to kill Zelina without her explicitly saying don't kill Zelina.
Right.
That's the way I understood it.
Well, and
we also know that he's lying that entire scene.
Well, remember, he had the dagger, so...
Right.
No, I'm saying, like, in a hypothetical... Never mind.
But we know that he was lying that entire scene, so, like, that is a very valid point, and it could actually be true, but until we actually see it proven, we don't actually know. I mean, they really need to take a moment to actually set up... That was a big problem this entire season, that they never set up any rules for anything, and they just did whatever they want, and they just went, well, because it's magic, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, a big thing was having non-consistent heart rules. I mean, that's the Jesus out of me. It was like, can you set some rules for the heart, please? Like, how does this exactly work? Exactly?
Now, that's interesting, because since they're sharing the same heart, if one of them dies, does the other die?
Yes, I would say so.
Oh, it's Alice's wish all over again.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you have like a fatty deposit in the heart, can you actually split it up into like 4 different pieces and put it into 4 different bodies?
I don't even know what to do. No.
They don't have fat hearts.
Oh.
No. Those the hearts.
They're really, really rather shiny and clean.
Mm-hmm. I'd like a nice fabricated prop heart from the show, though. That'd be fun, like a nightlight.
I have a buddy. I can make one for you.
Creepy.
There we go.
Interesting. Okay, so we got a bunch of new fairy tale characters this season.
Yes.
We've already talked about them a little bit.
Some of them.
Some we'll love, some not. Let's go ahead and start with probably the biggest one of the season, outside of like someone being introduced as a villain, Ariel. We got.
We got her and we've already lost her. She's on an island.
Basically. But what did everyone think of Ariel overall? I mean, since we've pretty much got her whole arc now.
Yeah.
I kind of thought she was a disappointment.
Do you?
I thought the actress did a really good job of portraying her.
Belle Reloaded.
Yeah.
That was the romance, not the Outlaw Star, or the Outlaw Star. That's an anime. That's not the Outlaw Queenship. That was the example I was trying to think of earlier, where they told us, "Oh, look, we're so in love," but we didn't actually see them fall in love.
Right.
Which is sad because Gil McKinney is hot and he's like really great, and I've met him. He's a really great actor and he's so smart and intelligent. And Prince Eric was just terrible.
Yeah, he was in it.
They didn't give it a chance.
He was at Enchanticon, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was really handsome, and his costumes do him no justice. the Geico commercial of him in the rain does him full justice.
I just think that they had a lot of potential with Ariel, and they kind of just wasted it with her just coming up saying, "Hi, I'm Ariel. Let's save Snow White," and then go live on an island with Prince Eric, and that was it. Well, and even when she first came back and met Prince Eric when he was in Storybrooke, I thought that was a wasted moment. Because that could have been so much more than just, "I found you," and they kiss and they go away, and that's it. It could have been so much more than that.
But her with Belle was excellent.
Yeah, her and Belle were awesome.
Except for she was Ruby 2.0.
Yeah, see, I really liked Ariel. I thought she was a really interesting character. I'm really interested in like the whole underwater kingdom as an idea. I think that would be a really fun idea for like a season to go to and like see all the monsters and villains and heroes from there. I mean, I guess
Real
for an
Ursula.
underwater world that would be like that would require a huge special effects budget that they might not necessarily have.
Or
But
that they blew on Wonderland.
yeah, I mean,
Time in under the sea kind of thing.
right,
Yep.
and I think, see, I'm really curious about like the whole Ursula mythology because she doesn't really seem to be a villain like she was in the Disney movies. She seems to be like, I don't know, maybe not necessarily good, but not necessarily bad.
Like a guardian.
I think she was a goddess.
Yeah, and so I want to know more about the mythology of the ocean and that whole world. So yeah, so I kind of felt like she was a little bit of a well, not necessarily wasted, but a missed opportunity.
Mhm.
She kind of felt like the fact that she was a mermaid wasn't necessarily important enough. It just felt like she was a random character who just happened to be a mermaid.
It did kind of come into play on the plot, though, with her being able to travel between realms and everything,
Right.
though. That's
Especially
how
with the protective spell up.
And if nothing else, that initial... my voice is cracking so much tonight. I don't know why. I think it's because
He's a teenage boy. It's okay.
I was sitting by a fire for a big
5
chunk of
hours.
the afternoon.
Yeah.
I know, but if nothing else, the initial episode was pretty good. Bad Ursula from the movie impressions from Atlanta side.
That was so much
That's it.
great. That was so great.
See, I think it was way too much.
It was camp on purpose. And Lana wanted to do it so bad. Like that was something she talked about at Comic-Con last year, is how bad she wanted to be Ursula and to camp that up, and she got to.
I thought she sounded like Sebastian when she talked, though.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I'm like, why does she sound like Sebastian?
Ariel.
See, I think with Ariel, the missed opportunity that I see is that now you lose a character that can actually go between worlds, that could be a messenger if people end up in different places.
Jefferson.
I love
Building
the
that room, maybe? Anyone?
But I also love the fact that she was so new to so many of these things that you get all these fun lines, like, her not being afraid of a gun because she's like, not just because I don't know what it is, but you get like a new perspective of certain things that the other characters are so familiar with already.
Well, and again, there's nothing that says they can't bring her back in the next season or a season after that. I mean, I'm hoping they do.
And we do know she can travel between realms.
He tries to bring him with her, though.
Exactly, and the only way you can summon her is through the shell, right? So, I mean, it's not like they can't do it. It's not like she's lost forever. They can find her, so.
And they proved in Shadow of the Queen that you can turn characters with legs into mermaids to be underwater, and so.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Snow, Graham, and Ruby all got turned into mermaids for a short amount of time.
Nice.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think one of the things that we're alluding to is that they're actually, as much as we like the whole arc of a season, they're actually, and we enjoy the half-season thing, the 3A, 3B, is that they're shooting themselves in the foot because they can't really tell a full story like we would want them to and like they can. I think they should tell a story and just continue on. We can have 2 different storylines, just weave for 2, 3, 4 seasons. Because I think if they finish a story, I think that will be the, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Instead of, that's a finale, we're going to tie it all up. Anyway.
Here's a point to bring up. Here's a point to bring up. They kind of already did finish the Snow White story.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so if we allow them to just go ahead and finish the story, then what's the point of having those things on anymore?
I'm talking about Ariel.
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying in terms of they're not going to finish any story because we're going to go beyond what we know the story to be. That's what they've been doing all along. They're thinking outside the box. So while we're expecting the story to finish, and yes, there are points I would say we definitely want to see, and we want to bring more of Neverland. We want to bring more of Oz into this. There's nothing that says they can't go back to it, and it's okay that they haven't finished it. Yeah, it's frustrating, but maybe they will come back to those things later because it'll come into play.
I hope.
See, I more just want more of the stories that they've already set up. Like, you know, I know Aunt Bill and Aunt Marie know, but I absolutely love Dr. Whale, and so like everything
I
that
had
they
no
were.
idea.
Yeah, I know, right? So all
Dr.
those stories
Whale?
that were set up, and like all like the biggest thing for me was like the worlds in Jefferson's Hat. Like there is so much that they could explore there, and then everything with like minor characters. Like I still wonder why Archie was working for the Dark One. Like, how did that happen? Like, they already have this, like, great, and this was a big beef of mine this entire season, is the lack of use of all these minor characters that you already have. Like, why bring in these major characters? Like, why bring in a Rapunzel who could have been any princess when they could have gone to, like, rescue a fan favorite that's already in their show? Like, go use those people who have great stories that you already set up potential for, but now you're losing them all to other shows. We lost Megan O'Ree, David Anders, Rose MacGyver. All three of them have been taken to other shows.
Right.
Yeah, but Megan O'Ree can come back because her show got canceled.
Yeah, but that was the problem in the first half of the season. In the last half of season 2, they made her a regular, and then they didn't use her, and then they lost her.
Right.
Like, that was the biggest thing, is they made her a season regular, and then they just stopped using her.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why I found the finale quite interesting in that point, because they brought all these minor characters that we haven't seen for episodes. They all brought them back in the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually have a question, though, because what I felt is that the episode prior to the finale, so the third last episode, I guess, I felt that was more of like the season finale, while the finale, they could have shown that. It was great. I love the episode, but they could have shown it like in the middle of the summer as like a big promo setup for the next season, basically.
That would have been
and
cool.
go, here you go, the next season is coming. We're giving the fans of the show something new, because I didn't feel like that was the finale of 3B, basically.
But we'd have had to wait for the baby name.
No, it's Lucky Charms.
It's kind of like the last scene in season 3, episode 11, where Hook knocks on the door, and then he's like, "Oh my God, you gotta get back. There's something wrong with your parents." And we're like, "Okay, now we gotta wait 3 months." It's kind of like the same thing happening here. I think they just want to leave on a cliffhanger or something. But yeah, I agree that it definitely.
Yeah, They left on a cliffhanger the third last episode already, when they killed off, or when they basically opened that portal. That was a cliffhanger in itself. So they left on a cliffhanger on that one, and they left on the cliffhanger on the finale.
But
and the finale itself.
Yeah, sorry. If you think about it, the entire third season, sort of Emma's emotional arc is that in the first few seasons, she's like, Pan's like, "Oh, you're not gonna find the road to the camp if you don't admit that you're a lost girl." So basically, she starts in the third episode or whatever, she admits she's a lost girl, and then this continues on throughout the entire season. It's like, "Oh, I want to go back to New York. I want to go back to New York," and then right at the end. So if they didn't sort of tie that up and say, "Oh, finally I accepted that Storybrooke is my real home and I want to stay here," I mean, that would kind of leave it unfinished, because as the way I see it, yes, they're two different stories, but the common theme is this arc that's been going on forever, because OUAT is so action-based sometimes that the characters don't really get to develop enough. And then Emma as a main character, you want to see that she's shown some progress as well.
And I think that's all ABC's doing.
This is completely unrelated to anything anyone's been talking about. Did anyone have an idea about why Zelena turned into porcelain when Rumple stabbed her?
Well, it happened to Henry in Rumple's dream, so maybe it's something. Maybe it's like a thing that Rumple can do, and maybe it's more satisfying to watch them break into pieces than bleed out. And it's also on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. with kids.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Zelena's dead.
It was software that they just got.
Nope.
What I wanted to say about the Ursula stuff, though, something kind of funny happened during the finale with me. At the end, my mom came into the room after watching it, because I didn't know my parents were watching it in another room and stuff. She came in after Elsa showed up, and she goes, "Is that Ursula?" And I'm like, "Mom." I said, "Mom, your favorite movie of the year, and you say that's Ursula?" I made her go back and watch the last 5 minutes and go, "Who do you think that is?" And she went, "Oh, never mind." I just thought it was pretty funny that you automatically think that was Ursula, and I'm like, "Really?" He does not look like anything like Ursula. So I just thought that was kind of a funny thing that happened.
I like it.
Okay, let's see here.
I actually thought it was Ursula too when they started it off, and it looked a little watery, and then she was all standing up, and I'm like, oh no, it's not.
Yeah. There's something we haven't talked about that happened at the very, very, very beginning of season 3 was the home office reveal.
Oh.
That was really weak.
Oh, and the
actually.
fact that the Charmings, or not the Charmings, the Darlings just disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the theory that the Darlings were the home office. That was one of the theories I heard, and I kind of like that theory that the Darlings were the ones that started the home office after Neil disappeared.
Yeah.
That was one of the theories I heard, and I kind of wish that one was what happened, because that would have been probably the best way to go instead of saying, oh, never mind, that was Peter Pan.
Right.
I was hoping it was going to be revealed to be literally Disney.
Mickey Mouse comes out of the bookstore.
Oh my gosh. That would be an amazing plot twist if the whole villain for the entire show was Mickey Mouse.
Or Walt Disney.
Yeah, they like unfriend Walt Disney.
Well, I think Bobby, you might have even submitted this to us, but they were talking and they said they filmed an alternate ending to the finale that involved the Sorcerer's Apprentice hat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I missed that part. I just knew that, like, none of the cast knew about Elsa. Like, they told no one.
They filmed it.
And they had an alternate ending as well if they couldn't get that plot line going.
Oh, what were you saying, Bobby?
I was just repeating what you said, that they had filmed a completely different ending with what they said was another Disney totem, because the beginning of that episode began with Mickey. It was a little girl at the orphanage holding Mickey Mouse.
Very true.
Right.
He is the villain.
Aww.
The big bad.
Of the whole thing, I'm saying.
Or Oswald.
I
Yes.
want to see in like the very last season like a cabal of villains, and so it's like all of them come back, like Korra and Jafar and Pan and all of them, and they have to stop all of them to get their true happiness. I just think that'd be great.
And the world explodes into a hidden Mickey.
Once upon a time, Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay, let's go down the line real quick and just align favorite moment from the series, and I'm going to talk for a minute because I know I'm springing this on you guys and you probably haven't had time to think about it, so you need some time to think about it.
And
I think that's about enough
you've
time.
talked about time enough.
Yeah, so Anne-Marie, favorite moment from the season?
Okay, when Regina was working with the others on the island, and when she basically went, okay, that's it, it's enough, nobody's doing anything, and she stomps off on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that led to some good stuff too, especially with like Tank and everything. Okay, Amy, favorite moment?
I kind of have two.
Go ahead.
Make it happen.
I wasn't really a Captain Swan, Neil shipper with your shipping wars and all that kind of stuff, but the fact that they're actually canon now kind of makes me happy, even though Neil's dead. The second one was the fact that Emma made a Back to the Future reference, because I love Back to the Future. It's one of my favorite movies. So the fact that she made a Marty McFly reference made my day. So.
Yeah, I'm personally of the opinion that Back to the Future 1 is tied with Shaun of the Dead as the most perfectly constructed movie ever made.
I will agree with you.
Okay, Bobby, favorite moment from season 3?
I know everyone hated it, but I liked when David was teaching Henry how to drive.
That was so great. I loved it, Bobby.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Christine, favorite moment?
I would have to say when Regina finally found happiness with Robin Hood. I know that was not very well thought out, but she's been through so much, and she's been really trying very hard. So I was very happy for her when she was actually able to go into that true love phase that everyone else has had, and she's always only had Henry, So.
Yeah, it was very kind of the creators to give her about, 3.5 minutes of happiness before ripping it away again.
But then they took it away, so now I don't know how I feel about it, so.
Okay, Hope, favorite moment from season 3?
I mean, honestly, I look at them as two separate seasons, so I have like favorite parts of both seasons, or both of them. For Neverland, it was definitely I love the development of the whole Davy Jones, like David and Killian, like kind of friendship. Only because I griped through most of season 2 that David had no guy friends, and like there in all the promo pics was always Josh Dallas with the women, and I was just like, where are all the guys? I really like their friendship and their dynamic, and I want to see more of that. And then for second half, I just loved everything about New York City Serenade. It was a good setup for Oz that they did not live up to. But that episode by itself was a really great episode.
Yeah, New York City Serenade was probably, besides the two-part finale, was probably the best episode of the half season. That whole section, definitely. Yep. Okay, Jeff and Colleen, your favorite moments since you're two people. I think
I'm an emotional sap, so I love the end of the Regina redemption arc when in Bleeding Through she said she was sorry to almost everybody. I thought it's powerful for an evil queen to actually own up, and so that was mine.
Mine, I have two. My first was every scene that Hook was in.
Yes.
Because I mean, Hook is yeah. And then the other one had to be for me when Regina let go and went and just planted a big one on Robin the first time. That was awesome.
Yes.
Can I choose another favorite moment?
Oh, yes. Sure, throw it in there.
Okay, so my other favorite moment would be when Regina and Snow had that talk in the Seance episode, which I really did not like, but I like that scene where they were all laying it out on the table and say, yeah, I kind of killed your mom. Yeah, but she kind of killed your mom, so it's a quid pro quo. So I really like that exchange and how far they've come since the beginning of the series.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a lot of really great scenes. On Bobby's moment, though. So Bobby said that your favorite moment was the driving scene, or the Henry's being taught how to drive. The fun part in that one is when he bumped into the post box. Because they filmed this in Vancouver, they actually had to bring up like a U.S. mailbox because the mailboxes up here in Canada don't look like that at all, which I thought was just hilarious.
Nice. Okay, Martine, your favorite moment from season 3?
Oh, definitely the scene where Emma and Hook were in Granny's cafe alone. There was just, it was just really beautifully shot. Like the color looked so nice, and it was just, I don't know, just like them having like being alone. But I also, as like a whole episode, I probably prefer like good form. Like Hope said, like the bonding between David and Hook was really nice, especially because it had such parallels to Hook's past. So that was really nice, as well as like him opening up to Emma about his brother's death. That was also really good.
I don't think that Emma and Hook personally have much chemistry. I totally think David and Killian have way more chemistry. I'm a total fangirl. Davy Jones, yeah.
Nice. Okay, and finally, Michael, your favorite moment from season 3?
Do you have a favorite moment, Michael?
You had to think about that.
I do. It's
Did
not.
You like the part where it ended?
It's probably not one of the most favorite moments. I know a lot of people don't like this moment, but the origin of, or not the origin, but the revelation of exactly who Peter Pan is.
I love that.
I just thought that he was such a great villain, and that's just the combination of his character traits, the ruthlessness, the playfulness, and then that origin. I felt like it. I don't know, the moment when you found out who he was, like when Malcolm, crazy, irresponsible, horrible father Malcolm, transforms into Peter Pan, and just the look that Robbie K's on his face, that kind of like crazed yet ecstatic look on his face, like.
And yet he's still crying?
Yes. Just, that was so creepy, and I just physically, literally shivered when I saw that, and I was like, wow, that is so effective. So.
Yeah, Pan was such a great villain overall. Like he might be my favorite villain of the series.
Yeah.
I kind of think we'll see more from him in the future. Like we'll see him like win an Academy Award or something like that because I think he's just that good.
Absolutely.
Does the panel generally agree that we all like Neverland more than Oz, or is there?
Oh, yes, definitely.
No.
Neverland
Yes.
better than
No.
Oz.
Neverland, yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Does anyone not agree?
Me!
Oh, you
I hated Neverland.
really?
I didn't hate it, but I liked Oz too. I just think they
liked
didn't
Oz
do enough
a
of it.
lo- Yeah, I liked Robbie K.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's about where my Neverland love was.
and
that was
Tinkerbell
it.
too.
For
Mine
Neverland, for Neverland, it wasn't so much that I hated Neverland. I just hated the fact that it was so dark, and I really dislike shows when it gets really dark.
I
And it's
think-
I
really
thought it was
hard to
boring.
see.
I think there's actually a logical explanation for that. The whole idea that Neverland was a place that has no time, so there
Yeah.
shouldn't really be much change. But then Malcolm comes in and becomes Peter Pan, and then the Shadow kind of suggests that he's kind of setting things off the way they're not supposed to be. He's messing with stuff, and so because of that, the magic of Neverland is kind of tied to the magic of Peter Pan, and since Peter Pan has that limit where he's not going to last forever, now Neverland is kind of like in slow decline too. See, and now it's like we're almost at the end of Peter Pan's life, and so now Neverland is almost at the end of its magic. But they never explained that. If they had explained that, that would have been great.
Yeah, like I always
Yeah.
assumed that Neverland was like the world of dreams, and the Shadow was the guardian that like lived in kids' dreams, and he actually went there through the Fire Never world, because like that was a world that connected all the worlds, and that's how he got there. And because the Shadow specifically says, you know, like you made this, like you made it physical, it wasn't like this before. So I always took the Shadow as being a good guy that was being forced to work for Peter.
Right.
See that?
Also,
I kind
aren't
of
there like two shadows that are in charge? One that doesn't talk, and then one that talks. And they never explained that either. So yeah.
One was
Just throwing that
Greg.
out.
Okay, guys. Well, we're about an hour and a half in, so we should probably start wrapping it up. I mean, it is a season overview, so yeah, it's gonna run long.
Can I
right?
make one more comment, Bill?
Absolutely.
You definitely can, and yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
What I think would be a great way to go back to Neverland and to maybe explore all the story issues that they hinted at but never actually explained would be to show that you know how when after they got back to Storybrooke, when the Shadow was finally killed and then Blue Fairy comes back to life. So like they said, all the people that the Shadow had killed would come back to life. I would love it if they would show oh my gosh, what is his name?
Greg?
Greg. Yeah, I would love if they show that Greg was released and he was free, but since his body was already decomposed, he had nowhere to go. So now he's the new Shadow, and he becomes the new villain.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
Okay, can I add just one more to what Michael said?
Sure.
You know that scene in Neverland where they went into the forest and Neil and Emma, I think it was, and then they were trying to trap the Shadow. Wait, was it? Oh yeah, and Hook as well. And I was so expecting to see Greg in that scene.
Me
Just
too.
because it was like, this is where all the shadows go. Okay, well, where's Greg? You know, so yeah.
You know,
I
I
didn't
didn't.
know the ones that held Hook or Neil.
Yeah, I was expecting Greg's Shadow to help them.
His
Oh, see, I
redemption
think
arc.
he was too evil at that point.
Well, he was never evil. He was always just tricked into. Because I think Tomorrow was generally evil, but he just sincerely wanted to find his father. I don't think he was really evil. He was just trying to find this. And so I always believe that when Regina revealed that his father was really dead, like he could have had a nice character redemption. Like, you know I can't do this anymore. Now I'm a Shadow. I'm going to help you get out of here.
Okay, let's see here.
We never got a Tomorrow backstory. Can I say?
Good.
Good, we don't want one.
Oh, she could have been really awesome. It could have been awesome for all we know. Like she could have been.
No, but I love the dragon. I still would like to see more of the dragon.
Yeah.
Definitely the dragon.
I only know she had more backstory with the dragon. Like she's been spying on him for a long time, and then she figured out, oh, he has these powers, and then I would go kill him. And never mind. Just
Yeah, no, Tomorrow's backstory is something that was needed. Like
You know,
maybe
with
we would
Season
have
4,
Dragon?
The Search for Tamara.
The dragon had magic in a world that does not have magic. So I seriously want to know why he did.
Exactly.
Wasn't it Mushu or something that people were saying
Yeah,
he was?
or it might have been from Mulan or
Yeah,
whatever.
from Mulan.
But okay, let's see here. As we normally do to wrap things up.
Oh, we're not doing least favorite moments?
We're not doing least favorite. I think we're end on a happy note. Hey,
I think we've talked about them.
Yeah, I think we've covered them pretty well.
No, there is like very specific one about Adam and Eddie blatantly lying to fans. Like all season long.
Well, that's what
they do. That's what.
Yeah, they have to
you have to
tease
keep
it out
the
a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Marketing, though.
Okay, arbitrary scale. Arbitrary scale. I did not come up with an arbitrary scale because Michael did. So I'm going to let him run this part of the show.
Oh, good.
Let's see how it goes. Michael,
Michael,
ask
you're
everyone for their arbitrary scales, please.
All right. I had a few different ideas for this one, but the one I think that I'm going to go with is out of 371 artifacts in Rumpel's evil archive.
Nice. Okay, so let's see here. First off, you, Anne-Marie.
Me, Anne-Marie.
Out of 371 items in the...
what he said.
Yeah, exactly.
For the entire season as a whole, 327?
327? Why? Briefly.
Yeah. Just because. No. There were lots of good things. There were some not so good things, in my opinion, the opposite of everyone else's. But I don't know. I feel like there was more good than bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's as brief as I can get.
Okay. It's fine.
Tag, you.
We're not reading the riot.
You.
Me?
Yeah.
I would say 342.
Oh.
340.
Why? Keep it brief.
It would have been the whole 371, but Selena.
I wanted to see her ride the bike and fly off.
The one they found around the corner and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, next.
Other Anne-Marie. Out of 371 items in the Dark Archives, what do you give?
335.
Why?
Because the pace was just too fast. I understand what they were going for, but there were too many things that they could have explored better if they had a full season of either Neverland or Oz.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and where can people follow you online, Anne-Marie? We'll just go ahead and get that part out of the way now, too.
I am on Twitter, Ann_Ann Lee.
Excellent. Okay, Amy, 371 items in the Dark Archives. How many do you give it?
330, I guess.
330?
Because I wasn't a huge fan of the Oz half of it. I mean, I'm not a really huge fan of Wizard of Oz in general anyway, but I was kind of hoping this would make me interested in reading the stories and stuff like that, and it didn't. And the whole Zelena thing just got on my nerves. She got on my nerves. I mean, the actress was good. It was just the character in general that got on my nerves, so I thought... But there were good episodes in that half, but I like the Neverland half more. So, yeah.
Okay, Bobby.
317.
Why?
I was a big fan of the Neverland half, and I am a huge fan of Wizard of Oz, but felt really let down by the second half of the season. And then also just all throughout the whole season, mainly the second half, there was quite a few plot points that I felt were set up that were never delivered on.
Okay, we're going to go back to Amy for 1 second. I forgot to ask you where we can find you online and stuff.
Oh, Twitter at Amy1102 and on Tumblr at bookworm1102.tumblr.com.
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah. And Bobby, same question.
Inevitable Hawk. That's on Twitter, and that's really only place you can. Facebook, Bobby Hawk, I guess.
Okay, let's see here. Christine, out of 371 items in the Dark Archives, how many would you give this season?
I would give it a 285, just because, one, so much more could have been done, but the big bad actors were really amazing. And then the whole thing felt just a bit contrived for me, especially the Oz part. Then even though that the arcs were so compressed and the pace was so fast, we still got a lot of filler episodes that I think we could have just turned into better, more relevant episodes that they could have done more with. So yeah, that's why. And you can find me on Twitter at Squishat, SQUISHAT.
Excellent. Okay, Hope, out of 371 items in the Dark Archives.
So I did the math, and I said 278 because that's exactly 2/3. I did, because I really liked a lot of things in Neverland, even though there was a few things I didn't like here and there. But like Bobby, like I'm a huge Wizard of Oz fan, and I was really looking forward to it. And the fan theories for Oz were so good. And I mean, and I had so many personal theories that I've been doing for 2 years myself, and I was just incredibly let down by Oz as a whole. But there were still moments here and there that I really liked. So I liked about 2/3 of the season.
You know, the biggest thing that disappointed me about Oz was that the Emerald City didn't feel like the Emerald City. It felt like the Emerald Palace, where in the Oz books, it's more of much a... Like,
no, it's a city.
You feel the energy of the city and the population moving around. Anytime they describe it, it's kind of disappointing. Hope, where can people find you online?
I have a podcast of my own. It's called Hope of All Trades. I've done a couple one shows, and Bill and Amory have been on a few of my shows. Thank you for that. And I'm at Twitter at Hope Molinax. I have a once blog called onceUponAnObsession.tumblr.com, and I started a once fanfic myself called Realms, and it's my take of Once Upon a Time starting in season 2.
Excellent.
Where, the key thing is Rapunzel is Jefferson's love interest.
Nice. Huh. Okay, Jeff and Colleen, out of 371 items in the Dark Archive, what you give it?
321. 1, because it was in season 2. And 2, because I love the deeply Heart of Darkness Neverland. It was just so psychological and creepy. It was just so awesome. I'm breaking up now. And Emma finally got her magic. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
okay, I would have to give it a 350. And the only reason it's not a 371 is because Zelina's main motivating factor was dumb. I'm sorry. It was stupid, and she was whiny. And I also did not... there was some dark stuff that it was a little too creepy for me in Neverland. I was like, okay, yeah, that's a little too much. I did love, however, Hook's development, all the character development, Regina, the bad ones kind of developed. And then we never talked about this a little bit, but Glinda, I don't trust her. I don't trust her. I don't think she's good at all. I think she's going to come up again later, and so that's why I raised it up to 350.
we might need to have another roundtable of just season 4 theories.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, we never got to that.
We'll talk in August.
Yeah, definitely.
We didn't even. Yeah, especially about Elsa. We didn't really talk much about Elsa.
And that's
there
another reason
really
why
much to say.
No, but that's the other reason why my score kind of went down, because I'm like, really, you guys, you're gonna jump on that train right now?
Yeah.
I love Elsa. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Frozen, but it feels too contrived for me. But that's just another story.
Maleficent, man. That's where it should have been at.
Comes out Saturday.
Yeah.
If Frozen didn't feel like it was written by the writers of Once Upon a Time, I would agree, but it doesn't feel quite as crass just because they explore such similar themes and
And maybe we'll get a musical episode. Please.
No.
Please.
I'm hoping.
No, it has to be written by Joss Whedon to be good.
Okay, Jeff and Colleen, where can people find you online?
Everywhere. But there's a... we have a little podcast called Once Upon a Time Fan Podcast at onceUponaTimePodcast.com.
It's really good.
Excellent.
And OUAT podcast is our Twitter.
Twitter is OUAT Podcast, and your Twitter is
Soweetie, SOWEETIE.
And we're launching something fun for the hiatus, so
yeah, we are.
We're not going to be doing nothing. So anyway,
do you want to mention it, or is it a surprise?
Well, it is called
Mention it.
Disney Once Again, and we will be watching classic Disney animated features with an eye towards Once Upon a Time.
Oh.
So yeah, if you want to watch along with us, we'll let you know what the very first episode is going to be Snow White, and it'll be next Saturday. So we'll be doing watching Snow White, and then giving our twist on our thoughts of that, but also the Once Upon a Time connections, because we know the obvious ones, but there may be others. And then on that episode, we'll give you the next movie, and you have 2 weeks to watch that movie, and then join in when we've put the podcast out about that one.
So it's kind of like a book club, but
it is, yeah.
Except about movies, but the movies are about books.
So it'll be every other week, starting next week until end of September, which is when we're assuming they come back for season 4.
That's an awesome idea.
I love it.
Yeah, I think me and Jeff have been talking about maybe me and Anne-Marie coming by to talk shop a little too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You are coming over to our house. We have new patio furniture. It's going to be so much fun.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Do we all live in the same city?
No, I don't believe
virtual patio.
Virtual.
I was about to say. I know I live in the same city as Bill and Anne-Marie, but.
Thank God for Skype.
Yeah.
Okay, Martine, out of 371 items in the Dark Archives.
347 was pretty high. So I really enjoyed all the redemption stories, and obviously Peter Pan was just an amazing villain. And then, but I didn't quite like Wumple in the second part. He was just like that lapdog, and it just annoyed me really badly. And just for ruining Medusa, because she's my all-time favorite like creature from mythology. So it's really sad to kind of. It was just bad.
It was horrible.
Medusa was a real waste.
Yes.
Okay, where can people find you online, Martine?
On Twitter at Hot Air Balloon double T's though.
Well, how else would you spell hot? That's how I was.
That's your Twitter name.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, and I guess we'll end up with the man who created the arbitrary scale this evening. Michael, what do you give it?
I will give it 294 items in Rumple's Evil Archive. As you guys know, I was kind of highly critical of the highly convenient plot twists that seem to happen all too often this season. And it actually would have been lower than that, but I really feel like the finale kind of redeemed at least the second half of the season a lot for me, which there were a lot of really convenient things that happened in that episode too, but for some reason they didn't bother me almost. I mean, almost at all. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. But by the way, I hadn't seen Frozen at all, and I watched it just for this podcast. So.
And you probably can't get it out of your head now,
I was going to
can
say,
you?
I'm glad we spent so much time on Frozen.
Yeah, exactly.
In summer.
Well, what'd you think of it, actually? Just real quick.
I actually was really impressed with it. I really liked the kind of Norwegian culture world aspect of it, and the story was really good. It's based on The Snow Queen, which is a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, and it's actually one of my favorites of his. So it was a really interesting twist on that story. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, Michael, where can people find you online?
I'm on Twitter at mhenrylucero.
And do you think we can still expect letters from you next season? You think you'll stick with it?
Yeah,
Excellent.
I mean, I'll definitely still watch the show, if for no other reason than so that I'll know what you guys are talking about on the podcast. Because I love the podcast too much to quit watching the show.
There is no shame in hate watching stuff. Like, that was me in Dance Moms for like 3 seasons.
Oh, I met them.
God.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Long before they were famous. My cousin took classes there.
Oh man, I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah,
There's no
their
shame in
recitals
hate
were
watching
amazing.
stuff.
I love
And I actually agree with Michael, though. I wouldn't want to stop watching the show because then I can't listen to the podcast anymore, and I think I like that.
We appreciate
one
that. Yeah.
final point of interest.
Okay, Christine,
Do
go
it.
Okay, so I just, because we never did the least favorite moment thing, so I just want to register my whole displeasure with the whole premise of the time travel thing, because OUAT is not a time travel show. Why are we getting time travel? I like what it did for Emma's character, but I don't like, the whole time I was going, really? Are you sure?
I had an entire Kanye rant about how an apple read his blood. Jefferson time traveled in season 1. Like, it was a huge Kanye rant I had on the internet.
Didn't they say something about time travel wasn't going to happen on Once Upon a Time? I thought I heard that at some point.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I feel like I've been conned big time. And this is speaking as a huge Doctor Who fan. I was just like, well, no time travel on this show, please. And my fan was
But they time traveled in season 1.
Okay, we gotta cut off Hope's Kanye rant. We gotta cut off the.
I mean, they did say that we wouldn't have time travel like Adam and Eddie, but Adam and Eddie also said that Neil had a perfectly equal chance of Emma, and then after he was killed off, they said they planned to kill him off in the summer before season 3.
Well, that's kind of like managing expectations and stuff like that too. But it is very late, and I'm about to fall asleep in my chair.
It's not late.
It is not late compared to Martine. It's got to be like 4 a.m.
That's true. In the morning.
Okay.
Go to bed, Martine.
We won't rub it in your face how early it is here.
No.
You're West Coast, aren't you?
Are you guys West
Yes,
Coast?
we are.
9:10 where I am. So.
I just think Bill's weak.
Well, he is a little weak sauce.
I am pretty weak. But, if you're listening to the recorded version, we have a bunch of letters and voicemails from actually the season finale that we need to get to as well. So we're going to do, if you're listening to the recorded version,
you're going to get those.
An Audible ad, and then we're going to go right into that. If you're watching the YouTube version live, thank you for watching.
Thanks.
And I guess we'll do the sign-off as we normally do.
Okay. Where can people find you on the internet, Bill Meeks?
Oh, I don't know. Where can they find me on the internet,
I don't know.
Anne-Marie?
That's why I asked you.
I think maybe at Bill Meeks. They can
Bill
find
Meeks?
my books at dogboyadventures.com, and my Google Plus profile is google.com/plusbillmeeks. Anne-Marie, where can people find you?
You can find me on the Twitters at AMDSimone, and I have a blog, crunchycrafty and highly caffeinated.wordpress.com.
It's a really good blog.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you had a really good guest post on.
Oh, God, he
up
guest
there.
posted, okay? So,
Nice.
for nothing else, come read his post.
That was my least favorite post.
I did get to meet Elsa and Snow White. Don't kick her off the call.
No, I love you, Bill. I was just kidding.
I know.
Hey, I read your book.
Yeah, I just watched through the play.
Yeah,
Nice.
I saw you mention it when I was adding you to the call and stuff. Okay, but we gotta go.
Okay, we gotta go.
Okay, we're gonna be back, guys, over the summer. Maybe we'll do a season 4 theories roundtable. As
It sounds like it's been
Maybe some
demanded.
commentaries. Maybe we'll.
Maybe a Q&A, because I know Hope said she had like 4 questions for us that we obviously didn't get to.
Yeah, obviously. But point is, we'll be back throughout the summer. Maybe just not
Ooh.
weekly.
Sorry.
It's at.
I just thought
Please
we
call
are.
it a round table.
Okay, before we
these are really
jiggle arms
fun.
too much more. Until next time. Greetings.
Greetings from
Storybrooke.
Storybrooke.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.